Cyber Dragon Infinity is one of the strongest cards ever. Hello, hope you're having a perfectly balanced day. It's been a couple of months since the last Duel Links video, but I'm getting back to it now. The newest set just released, alongside a bundle introducing Infinity. While Cyber Dragon is certainly a nice deck now, there are a few other decks that make good use of Infinity. Infinity is quite a big boost for a few decks in particular, such as the topic for today's video, which is Galaxy Photon. Even though I have less free time currently, I do plan to do more videos for the three main Yu-Gi-Oh categories, with a big one at the end of the year, so consider pressing the big red button. I can also be found in these places too. But with no further ado, enjoy!
Perfectly balanced is all things should be.
You will quite likely see a handful of light attribute decks use a small package of Galaxy Soldier to make Nova into Infinity, but no deck does this more efficiently than Galaxy Photon itself. Orbital and the Expedition both get to Soldier, so we have these 8 cards to get into Nova. You could even make it 9 if you want to play a third Expedition, but I'm not too keen on that because it is a hard once per turn and is a bit brickier than Orbital. One of the benefits this deck has over other decks summoning Infinity is that your own engine gives you a good way to protect Infinity, and the Photon Thrasher lets you make the blast more easily, and in general Thrasher is quite nice for going second. You could also play some tech cards in this deck like Eclipse if you prefer, but I wouldn't recommend playing any more than 3 tech cards, as this deck quite likes opening at least 3 monsters. Our goal for a turn 1 end board varies depending on the matchup, but we always want to end on Infinity where possible. The other 2 monsters alongside it will vary between the Link 2, Blast, Dingirsu, and Sanafond, which makes for a pretty decent end board as you can choose what to go for depending on the matchup. The Sanafond in particular is nice for matchups like Lyrilusk and Shark, since it stops Canary and both right hand Shark and left hand Shark. And the last 3 cards in the extra are of course the very good package with Cypher, Full Armor, and Blade. Overall, this deck got a big boost from Infinity, and it's very fun to play. Enjoy the gameplay. The opponent is playing Dumon. I did not check the log, and I thought they were playing Starstraff. Of course, that still triggers at the start of the duel, but it did not pop up at the start of the duel. So the end board I went for was, of course, to then beat Starstraff, but it ended up being pretty good, of course, anyway. Using Orbital here to get into the Soldier, and then we can go Link 2 into Sulfur. That I don't think is like ever the right point to Veiler against this deck, but the difference is that if they didn't Veiler here and Veilered this instead, which is probably the right point to Veiler, then my end board is still a rank 8 plus the Link 2. So you can play through Veiler pretty well with the Soldier. Well, I say play through it, I mean like make a good board through Veiler still. Go up into Nova, then rank up into the Infinity. Normal summon Reborn. Now at this point was where I make Dingirsu, because I think they're playing Star Seraph, because it protects from the effect of Scepter. What I should have actually done was make the Sanafond, because I saw it was not an archive skill, and therefore it was most likely going to be the overlay control skill, and Sanafond then turns off them being able to reborn from the graveyard. But Dingirsu is still pretty good against the Sushib deck because they are a big punchy attack deck, and Dingirsu is pretty good when they're trying to punch you really hard, and they can't do that. Of course they can still punch you directly with rank 5, but it's quite hard for them to get to that, with them trying to push through Infinity and the Soul Flare. So they go for the Shari Red here, and I choose to Infinity the Shari Red because otherwise they get into the rank 5, and the rank 5 can then just negate this anyway. We go Uni with the Shari Red. Now I don't need to pop the level 5 on summon here because it says change the level, then you can add 1, and then in this conjunction it's the same as and if you do. So if you chain something to remove the target off the field, they cannot search for that Shari. I go for Aruka here, and they go Shari, target this, I change the pop, so they don't get to search. Get Network, they go Aruka, Aruka will whiff. Now they only have to Reborn to make a rank 4. So they go for the Dreadnought, they can punch, I protect, they use the pop, I protect, they punch everything Gersu and then they pass. Now Infinity has 2 effects. Not only is Infinity a really good Ember piece because of its Omni Negate effect, but it has the other really good effect to absorb a attack mode monster. And then that's just easily quite game there, because we have the Cloud Dragon in the hand. We go Pitch Mizuki and Solitaire. Summon Squire, Squire summon level 3, make the 7. I'm just going to fast forward this a little bit. Reborn get a draw. Bring this back. So they're doing this play so they have 2 synchros in rotation to pop with the Sun Saga because they have this engrave and they have this banished. I get skilled, get 2 cards for free, very nice. And there's 2 ways that you can try and force the link free here. It's either you try and force them to do it by threatening Dingirsu, or you threaten Infinity. And I chose to do it where I threatened Dingirsu, because I'd rather not lose the Nova to the pops from level 10. We go Reborn Sun Saga, pop these 2. And we can continue playing because we have Soldier to summon. Grab another Soldier. We can normal summon Knight, Reborn the Dragon, make the Cypher. And I do not make Dingirsu instead here because we're actually going to make Nova instead to go up into Infinity. So that can then absorb the level 10 Synchro. Because Dingirsu would not have been game here. I go through full armor, and I go through the blade pop as well to get that extra defense if we need it. Because Cypher can float into Cypher. They do have Kite Void, so they are going to survive this turn. I use the Infinity because it means that they have to use it from grave. Because otherwise we're passing with the Kite Void in grave still, so may as well use a material to get that Kite Void out of the graveyard, pretty much. They have Mind Control to force the Infinity, which is quite unfortunate, because otherwise they take this and then pop the Infinity. So I'm not in a great spot here. They're going to go Synchro 6 into the level 6, Reborn 2, Synchro 8 into Shogun Saga. For those familiar with Shogunary, you would know that this line does do 4,000 damage if you attack a monster that has 2k or less attack, because you reduce by 500 with the level 6. But it is not a game because Infinity has 2-5. We're going to make a Synchro 7 into the Squire Saga. That's going to then be used to pop the Blade. Blade then floats back into the Cypher. However, I do have the level 10 still held hostage underneath the Infinity, but they do in fact play another level 10. So there's going to be game there. For the first time, I'm showing a game where I lose, because I figured it would be cool to mix up a bit. And this game was actually pretty good, despite being only 3 turns long. There was quite a bit of interaction that happened in those 3 turns. But yeah, that was it. Thank you for watching the video, hopefully you enjoyed. Have a perfectly balanced rest of your day, and yeah, adios.